yo, welcome to another amazing episode of That Was Three. Ding, 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 ding. Rick Smith, one of your hosts, and we have Jose on the West Coast. I made that rhyme. I made that rhyme. Nobody cancel me, okay? Nobody cancel me. Oh, man, what's up, Jose?
Nothing, jumping busy with life. I know we've been gone for what it feels like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
A lot of stuff has definitely happened. I know we always say that. I know we always say that, but like what happened yesterday, that was huge, and I'm pretty sure you'll probably have that on the books for us to talk about tonight.
We might as well throw it out there now. You done brought it up.
Oh, okay.
I mean, tell what's up.
I just imagine you're just like, well, there goes that plan.
Yeah, I mean,
just throwing the papers.
I had a timestamp for 12 minutes and 46 seconds in, and you just ruined the timestamp, sir. No, I'm joking. Nah, go ahead.
Not really a funny thing. ROH yesterday or the day before, they put out on their social media that at the end of their pay-per-view in December was going to be the last one. Then they were going to take a break for a while to kind of restructure and reevaluate and everything because, they pretty much openly admitted that the pandemic, while they didn't fire anybody, they weren't making money. So, they're kind of hurting, and we all understand that. Left it at that, and everyone's like, okay, I know you and I had talked a little bit about it, and then not even 10 minutes later, you sent me the thing showing what happened. I was like, oh, that answers my question.
Yeah.
So basically all of their talent has effective immediately. They've technically been released from their contracts. So effective immediately, they're able to go work at any other promotion. Their actual champ, Bandito, he's already signed up with GCW to do a couple shows with them. And what else was it? Any talent that had a contract that did not end at the end of this year, that went till next year, they're going to continue to get paid until March 31st.
That's nice, yeah.
So that is cool that they're doing what they can. I've read a couple of reports talking about how apparently that the one of the figureheads for not Impact, ROH, was really pushing hard to try to keep it going, but that Sinclair Media Group, they were the ones that said, hey, we have to restructure, redo this. So it does suck. Hopefully they're not lying when they say, hey, we're just restructuring and we're going to come back in April. Hopefully that's possible. Only problem is that the roster was pretty stacked with a lot of talented individuals. You and I both know AEW, WWE, Impact, New Japan, MLW, AAA, everybody, they're sitting there now. They're crunching numbers. They're figuring out, okay, who are we going for? Who's gonna get who? And the problem is, come April.
If I'm a wrestler, why would I go back to that?
Exactly, especially if I get offered something from any one of these other promotions, and it's something where it's like, dude, I cannot pass this up. I mean, think about it. Say for maybe AEW, Impact, and possibly New Japan. If I know people rag on WWE, and I know we make jokes from time to time, but let's just be realistic. WWE has the money, but the problem is, you sign with WWE, you're stuck there. AEW and a couple others, you sign with them, they're willing to let you still go work elsewhere.
Yeah.
But this would be, pretty interesting. So figure it is a bit of a bummer though, because, you hate to see people lose jobs regardless. But again, I'm more than willing to bet majority of their roster is going to get picked up by multiple spots.
This is the time too. Wrestling is popular everywhere. Outside of the Monday Night Wars, this is probably the other era of wrestling that that it's just wrestling is freaking amazing right now. It's just trending worldwide. You know, I kind of feel bad for ROH because I'm like, if they would, if, I hate to say this, and this is totally jacked up, if they would have done this prior to Grand Slam and All Out, there a lot of the wrestlers probably would have had a home, and I think Tony Khan would have went differently about maybe some of the contract signings. I mean, you really can fill up a whole nother roster probably with the amount of money you paid, you know, those poor individuals. Even though I mean they're big names, but I mean the amount of money that you wrestling you could have brought in for young guys for the next couple of years. I mean, so I mean I just hope that they get picked up, like you said, and you know they got to eat too. So I mean, going to WWE, you may sign your life away, but at the end of the day, like they give you a contract.
You got bills to pay.
Yeah, you got stuff you got to do, man. And,
fingers crossed that the Briscoes go to AEW though. I need to see that tag team there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of chatter online about that, man. So
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Their tag team division, Briscoes, that's like a no-brainer right there. That the matches.
So
matches.
This is kind of before we get started on our topic. Our topic for tonight. This made me think about something that I was reading online. The rest, if you got the opportunity, wrestling Twitter is like the best. Like it's better than coffee in the morning. So so when it comes down to like Tony Khan, right? You know, he said a while back that he would never fire anybody or release anybody, and that was put people took that out of context. You know, he stated during the pandemic, if whoever wanted to stay with me, I would make sure they have a job, and he wanted to make ensure that. Now, I mean, now you're back in the swing of things, and contracts are being renewed. And I hate to say it, even though Tony Khan's a great guy, people look up to him, and he's being claimed as a wrestling god. I don't think he's there yet, But I'm like, at some point, Tony Khan, you got to make decisions what's best for your company. So many people have been here since day one, and I just, you got a lot of, you see now they got a lot of new hits. Dan Garcia's killing it, 2.0 is killing it, Bobby Fish. And these wrestlers are wrestling every week on Dynamite and Rampage. And there's other wrestlers that haven't been on Dynamite. I mean, I haven't seen Private Party wrestle on Dynamite and Rampage since the 5-man tag match. I mean, actually no, that wasn't even on Dynamite. That was on the buy-in for All Out. So I mean, it's going to be interesting how it plays out, because if you're Tony Khan, look, I got all these new ROH people, and I know that they can wrestle at a certain extent, and I have a lot of developmental talent whose contracts are up. Which battle was better to fight at this point? So it's gonna be interesting these next few months, in my opinion. So Dynamite happened, and Dark Elevation, and I'm gonna say this, and we talked about this. The production quality for Dark out the window.
Yeah. No, it's massively improved. Now Dark actually feels like its own thing. It doesn't just feel like, oh, this was the extra matches people got to see at the end of a Dynamite taping. It's like, no.
I think I lost you.
This actually feels like it's its own thing. There's actual feuds happening.
Your camera stopped for a second.
Oh.
Okay, now you're good.
Okay. That was weird.
Yeah.
No,
Dark, man. Dark. You said you're talking about Dark, man. Dark was just...
My camera went dark for a second.
Yeah.
No, yeah, just overall, the presentation now looks a lot better. It's like starting to get to the level where you could show this on television.
Yeah.
Like oh God, I can't believe I make this reference. WCW used to do back in the day, the Saturday morning wrestling. Once the Saturday morning cartoons were done, I think it was like around 1:00. Boom. Their show, it was usually like an hour, maybe 2 hours long, and key matches, and there you go. Like I feel
they had superstars that came on Saturday, Fridays, Saturdays too. Yeah.
See, and I feel like that is, I feel like that's where Dark and Dark Elevation are heading.
Yeah.
I really do feel like it. I think.
Did you see the promo? Like the promos on Dark are fueling Dynamite. Like the wrestlers who are going to be on Dynamite and Rampage are coming on Dark and doing promos in the ring. Just this astounding. Like, wow. Yeah. So, talking about promos. Hey, you got any good ones that you like lately? I mean, I know it's a lot to choose from.
My God. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I think this is just because I just rewatched Dynamite last night.
Okay.
I gotta give credit to the Cody Rhodes promo he cut in the ring. I feel like that was something that was actually kind of needed because, the one thing that I give credit to AEW for, I know a lot of people don't really like it. I don't get why, but they handle criticisms in front of the camera.
I love it.
They don't sit there and just let people talk and it'll go away. No, they take it and they run with it. That's all for the past month or so, all this stuff about Cody turning heel and this and the other. And this promo, gotta give him credit. This promo, he tapped into every criticism that he's been getting as of late. And not only that, he even went one step further by kind of doing some inside baseball thing by pointing out but if I would have gone heel, then what? I would have just abused my executive power and got myself another title shot, even though I said I'd never go for one again. He was cutting in on stuff that people have been criticizing and claiming are gonna happen, but he told everyone no, they're not. I told you this is, that one thing where he said everybody praises Tony, that's great, but everybody needs to remember who cut their teeth to build this.
Yeah.
And that right there, that's when I was like, okay.
Ooh.
It's not coming from a place of anger, it's coming from a place of, I'm gonna give you a good story. And then I just love how Andrade came in and just kind of added more to it by being like, hey, you don't care about these people, I don't care about these people, you got in my business, now we've got a problem.
Hold up. He's like, Cody, these people don't like you. Dude, I was in tears, yo. I was probably his best line since he's been in AEW.
Dude, I just got to point out one thing about Andrade too. Last night, I've never heard as many woos for a wrestler that wasn't Ric Flair. That whole time he's walking up, everybody knows how he's connected to Ric Flair, but it was just this thing of
he's connected to Ric Flair.
Yeah, his soon-to-be wife might be showing up in AEW, so that's gonna be your favorite video we talk about.
Let's not wish that on anybody. That's it.
But yeah, so I thought it was really good. I thought it was just something that was needed for that. Not just storyline wise, but just kind of because, Cody as of late has been getting so much hate. Not even just hate because he's a wrestler people don't like. They're just hating him to hate him, and it's like.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's like, if you guys got opportunity, watch Rose to the Top. Rose to the Top is an amazing special. I absolutely love, going behind the scenes, seeing Cody actually. The heart and his heart goes into it, the work ethic, everything he does to give a great product. And I saw in the ring twice this week where fans, I hate to say this, I hate to break the fourth wall. Fans during Dynamite and Rampage act a certain way towards Cody. When he's not on stage, fans act totally different, or at least when the cameras aren't on. They did the whole Fuego thing and the Sammy blog thing. Everybody loves Cody.
Yeah.
They love Cody. But it's like I respect that too for the fans because they're enjoying the television. They're like, we're here. We hate you, Cody. Cameras go off. Thank you, Cody. We love you. So and then Cody's like, you know what? Y'all can boo for me. Y'all can cheer for me. My issue with that, and I think I was a little disappointed. I do respect the way he went with that promo. I do think the heel Cody is long overdue. And after the promo from Malachi Black, how he broke Cody and he took the loss because of, you know, he wanted to push Cody to the next level and, you know, mess with him and ruin his family and everything. I thought at that point we were there. I really thought we were there. I thought the Malachi monologue put things in motion, and I was fully expecting that. And then Cody just stayed straight. He didn't swerve, and I'm like,
see, that's why I'm with you. Like, don't get me wrong, Cody as a heel. Cody as a heel is always pretty good, but I have a feeling Full Gear gonna be a tag team match, Malachi and Andrade versus Cody and Pac.
Yeah.
Cody probably gonna lose. And if there's a heel turn, that's when you do the heel turn, when he beats down on Pac.
Well, I'm hoping he does what he said. I heard, you hear the foreshadowing? He said, I could have dropped his neck and done the move that I know I shouldn't do, but I chose not to because I didn't want you all to feel certain way. Like, I was like, ooh, what's foreshadowing right there? He's gonna do something he's gonna regret.
Yeah, no, it's you know, just long storytelling. That's what it comes down to. I definitely feel like Full Gear, a lot of changes are going to be made.
Yeah.
To you know, some people that are face, they're going to go heel, and vice versa. I feel like that's just going to be the spot where it happens. I mean, think about it. What was it yesterday? Wyatt teased, you know, 2 days left in his 90-day clause. Granted, a lot of people think he's going to go to Impact, which I would be perfectly fine if he went to Impact, but you can't deny him going to AEW and having some type of involvement with the Dark Order would just be it's what people want because of, you know, Brody Lee. But to see him in Impact, either place he would do good. And I know you and I have talked about it in the past where, you know, you want to bring all these people and you want to see all these people in AEW, but you just don't have enough time to showcase all of them. And, you know, you got to start, like, if you pull them in, you know, what are they doing while they're here? Like, I give credit to both CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
The fact that they are not going after the belts, although Danielson's in the tournament, which we all know how that's going to play out. But the fact that, like CM Punk, he's here, but no, he kept to his word about who he wanted to face first and how he wanted to do it. He's not really concerned with belts yet. It's more so like, yo, I want to face these younger guys and see if I still got it. You know, Darby and him was great. Garcia and him was really, really damn good. And then him and Bobby Fish was just like, whoa. Yeah. And then,
my favorite match with him was him and Matt Sydal.
Yeah, and then him and Matt Sydal.
That match was amazing. Matt Sydal, this dude can sell it, boy. Man, he can sell it.
And then don't forget his match with Will Hobbs. Like, he's showing that, hey, I'm willing to go up with these younger guys, and I'm willing to fight people that have different styles than me. Like, this is all stuff he said, and that's working. But you know, you can't necessarily do that with every person you bring in.
Yeah. Oh, he actually kind of got me thinking about talking about promos. Yo, I'm gonna tell you, man. He brought his name up, Bryan Danielson. The two promos he's done with my boy Eddie Kingston. My goodness, he's like, that's the Eddie that I want. That's the Eddie that I know. Like, he's like, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston are probably the two best wrestlers I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I'm just like, to hear Bryan Danielson say these are probably the two best wrestlers he's seen in his lifetime. And I mean, to hear that out of his mouth, I mean, to say, okay, I'm not giving Kenny props. I hate to say this, it's New Japan, but I'm not giving Suzuki props. you know, and it's a lot of wrestlers that he's seen in WWE, in AEW, ROH, and everywhere else. And I'm like, for him to give Moxley and my boy Eddie that praise, man, and then see Eddie's like his charisma and be like, well, this is what you want. This is what you want. And he's like, look, I don't care, Eddie. All the people in the back has been through the same story you went through. And I'm like, damn, he kind of told on him, like, yo, you ain't the only person, bro.
Yeah.
I'm using that for your drive.
I kind of wonder if that was some foreshadowing, though, that they're going to swerve everybody, and the finals that are going to happen at Full Gear, it's going to be between Eddie and Moxley.
Well, I think Moxley's going to go heel.
I think he is.
After his latest match, I was like, but for them to bury 10 like that, and they've been hyping 10 up for months, and to bury him that quickly against Moxley, I'm like, yeah, he has to go heel. There's no excuse. 10 shouldn't get his ass whooped that quickly, man. That was a horrible. I was thinking maybe because Deeb and Sheeta maybe went too long, maybe they cut that one short. But I was like, damn, like 10 is too jacked to be getting beat this quickly.
Yeah, I'll be honest. From this week's Dynamite, Moxley and 10 was my least favorite match.
Yeah.
Because of what you just said, where it's like,
I didn't like that.
Oh, it's like, don't get me wrong, I get it. We all know Moxley was gonna win, but it's like 10 didn't even get to do anything, period. And every time he did, it went from, it was bordering that line of like, oh, Moxley's just that powerful and dangerous, to no, Moxley's just no sell.
Yeah.
Like it bordered that line, and it was kind of like, at least let 10 get in one of his power moves, and then Moxley can beat the hell out of him. But they didn't even let that happen, and it's just kind of like, okay, we get it. And yeah, so that honestly, that was like my least favorite match. But you brought them up, Deeb and Sheeta. Good God, no, sorry, I hate to ruin your girl, Britt. Hands down, this is the best females match they've had on Dynamite.
I love both of these women, and I give Deeb props. I used to live in Oakton, Virginia. I lived there for about 4 or 5 years, and she's a hometown hero. And just knowing that, like, I'm like, wow, like that's Serena Deeb. Like I've heard of her. Like she's from the area. Like you just see, I respect her, and I love the heel turn for Deeb. I love it. And Sheeta, this poor girl, man.
Dude, but you know what though? This was, because remember the one thing that you and I had said about Sheeta when she had the belt, granted it was during the pandemic when they were, kind of stationary. It was the fact that like, it kind of felt like Sheeta toned down a bit. Like she, because she was like mega face, everybody loved her, you root for her, but it was kind of like she toned down a little bit. Like, yeah, she would go all out when she had to fight like Nyla, but this was the match that it felt like, okay, this is the Sheeta that everybody remembers, because they were just going at each other. They literally looked like they did not like each other when they were fighting. This got pretty brutal.
I doubt Sheeta's going to be able to participate. I think they're going to spin that. I think she's going to be too hurt to participate in the next round.
No, you're right. I think that is the case. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to say she's not able to participate. It's just, I don't know if they're going to let Deeb take her place, or if they're just going to say, because isn't her opponent Jade?
I believe so. I'm not sure. I got to look at the thing.
Yeah, like if
man, it got honestly, and I'm gonna say this, and this is not a shot at Jade. I like the fact that she's learning and she's getting good and she's muscular and she's she has the charisma, but I don't want to see her versus Deeb or Sheeta.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I don't want to see her like.
Oh no. So right here, if Sheeta were to compete, she'd be going against Nyla. Yeah. So you see, I don't really know if they're gonna say, okay, Nyla's getting a pass, or because Deeb was eliminated and Sheeta can't compete because of the injury. Because
Man.
let's be realistic, that beatdown, that was definitely meant to set up Sheeta's out because she's too badly injured, or gonna be one of those things that she's gonna try to fight, but she just can't do it because her leg is that messed up.
I mean, from AEW perspective and the PR relations perspective, I mean, this if I was to do this and not let her wrestle, it would only because I wouldn't want any controversy if she didn't win the TBS title, because of the transition between her title to Britt was not clean. It was not a clean handoff, and it was. I mean, it was like somebody said it. I think it was on the some show. Oh, it was on the show that Tony Khan was on the other day. They said, Tony Khan, your business has the worst kept secrets. Like, I mean,
He's not wrong.
Yeah, they do everything to tell you what's going to happen without telling you. Like, I respect it, but I'd be like, damn, like everybody in the world knew Britt was losing that belt that night.
Yeah, like, no, Britt was getting the belt, not losing.
I mean, I'm sorry, Britt was getting the belt. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, like you. That's why I told you I really wasn't invested in the match. I mean, I knew it was gonna be good, but I just.
I mean, I still thought it was a decent match, but I didn't like how the fans turned on Cheetah and everything. But it just, I think they're saving face so they don't have to deal with this. But I would tell you what I would like though, and just before we go on to our next promo, if Ty can beat Britt, I would love that, because I'm like, Britt had a good run in 2021 since the pandemic, kind of slid down a little bit. And Ty Conti was right there behind Britt the whole time. And I'm just like, you put Ty Conti on the map at that level, and Britt losing the belt is not going to affect her. It's just not. I mean, she's Britt. She can go on this whole revenge tour, beat the hell out of everybody, fine. But man, you give Ty Conti that belt, ooh, bro, I got goosebumps. I'm just like, Tony, because I'm like, I love Britt, but Ty Conti deserves this belt, because I've seen her come from, she started off here, she was like she was trying to get her feet underneath her, and I've watched her grow into an amazing wrestler, probably top 3 wrestlers, women wrestlers right now. And I mean, arguably, there's ways to go about it, but I would say she's probably top
3. No, I agree. I'm just gonna be honest. Britt's not. Well, Full Gear would be the best place for Britt to lose that belt.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she's not. Because again, the writing's on the wall. Commentary states it all the time, because of the fact that she got Rebel and Hater with her. We know how it's gonna play out. So and unfortunately, I've watched wrestling for years. I know how it works, but it's still one of those things that, like, because I know how it works, I'm not really invested. The matches are good. They are good. Like her and Ruby's match was great.
Really good.
But it's just when you know how it's gonna play out.
Oh man, hey, Tony Khan.
It pulls you. It kind of pulls you out of it. It's oh hey, let me check my phone. Type thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I should be sitting there watching it and, kind of suspecting that Britt's going to win. But no, right now it's not. I'm suspecting. It's like, no, I know she's going to win.
Well, yeah, that's where I agree with you. But this goes to the next promo. This goes into the whole Jericho promo with American Top Team. All parties were barred from ringside for the Sammy belt, for the TNT belt.
That's such a great match.
Dude, Sammy. Yo, Sammy.
I gotta agree with I think it was JR that said it. That like it was either JR or Excalibur, where one of them was like, he's gotta work on his ground game, because even though he has great cardio and great athleticism, you can see him doing all these high risk moves, beats himself up throughout the match.
Yeah.
And and I agree with them. Like, it would be nice. And he's been doing that little by little, but Yeah, there are some times where it's like, dude, you're at a 20. Come back down to like at least 15, please.
Like, I said it since day one on this podcast. You don't have to go so hard, man. Dude, you got me. You don't.
Yeah, exactly.
You already did this. Like you don't have to be this person. Like you're fine. I acknowledge you as a champion.
Yeah. But
my boy, my favorite AEW wrestler.
Ethan Page.
Ethan Page, boy.
First off, gotta point this out. His damn vlog makes me like him, even though he is such a jerk on AEW
It's
TV.
the biggest contrast. It's like
yes,
MJF, he's kayfabe everywhere he goes.
But Ethan Page, like once the camera's off, he's all, hey, what's up, blah blah blah, and it's like, God, dude, I hate this. Like their vlogs, man, make it to where you want to root for all of them. Like even the bunny, like watching her vlog, it's like, oh, dude, you're cool, you're great, but then you see what she does in the ring, and you're like, I'm supposed to hate you, but I can't hate you. And it's like Ethan Page right now, that's what's happening with Ethan Page, where it's like,
that's what happened to me. When he came to AEW, I started watching his vlogs. And I was like, this is a really cool dude. And
exactly.
I like this guy. Like, and then I'm like watching his wrestling match. I'm like, damn, this cat can wrestle. Like, Ethan, like, I don't know people that are sweating on him. Ethan Page is really good. Like,
he is.
He when he's in the ring, I hate to say this, he's damn near perfect. Like, I've never seen a wrestler come to the ring and they hit all the marks. They get the crowd riled up. They do the moves efficiently. They sell. Like, he is the whole package when it comes to wrestling. I love it. Like, I can't deny it.
No, honestly, he's great. That match, first off, okay, the Spanish God moniker is true because Sammy hits that Spanish fly like it is nothing.
Yeah.
Out of that corner, right into the Spanish fly. That, like, my God, like he hits that. So I guarantee you that was the move when he was a little kid. He kept practicing over and over again. Probably broke his leg like at least once or twice, but jumping off his bed and hitting the bed frame on the way down. But like he hits that so well.
That backflip he does when he throws them into the ring, into the rope, and they come back and he backflips over top of them. Dude, that athleticism is insane. Because like these dudes are like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", and he's jumping to the side, but still you have to clear that hurdle, which is probably still about 6 feet tall. And he jumps up, backflips over top of them, and catches himself. And I'm just, the kid is just so damn talented. Like, and the fact that he got Jericho in his corner, man, the kid is so fortunate, man.
That's why I'm hoping he doesn't lose the belt anytime soon. I would say a max a year. Let him hold it for a year, but don't let him lose it at Full Gear, which I don't even think his belt's going to be on the line at Full Gear right now.
I mean, they'll probably get something together sooner or later.
Yeah. Wait, no, because it's going to be the 5-on-5.
Oh, yeah, it's the Minneapolis street fight or whatever.
Yeah. Which, it was funny because when I saw Jericho out there and he was calling it, I was like, do it, just say it. We know it, we just do it. And he said Minneapolis street fight.
He's gonna say it.
Yeah, no, I was like, please say it. And then he didn't say it. My first thought was like, oh, I'm pretty sure Rick was upset. For those of you that don't know, we are talking about the Stadium Stampede.
Best stampede
that's what I thought they were going. I honestly thought that they were going with that. But I feel like just because they're doing this Minneapolis street fight doesn't mean that this feud's over. Because I mean, a lot of articles I've read, homie from America Top Team.
Yeah.
That people love him.
Yeah.
And Top Team people have been, I mean, they look like straight up douches on camera, but apparently they are some of the nicest people that any of these wrestlers have ever worked with.
Yeah.
So like, you're reading all these tweets and stories and everything. So it's like, I mean, and it's working, man. Like right now, that group is the most hated heel faction in AEW, and
works.
they're not even in a main storyline out, for belts or anything like that. It's just literally them going against the Inner Circle, which is funny if you think about it. I want to say like the first or second of these that we did, you and I said the Inner Circle were eventually going to become face.
Yeah. Yeah,
we called it that they were. Yeah, we called it that they were going to become face, and because of the fact that the fans just loved them from the jump.
Yeah.
Even when they were going against the Elite, they it was like, dude, the fans actually like want them to win.
Yeah, I mean, I sit here and I'm just like, and what I'm hoping again is that they have the street fight, and then of course they make it back into the stadium, into the arena, and it goes back down to the ring. Like that is like the nicest thing the AEW does. And in fact, they did that with the second stadium Stampede. Like I was I said, that sucks, man. They're there, they're not really going nowhere. It's cool, but they actually brought the match back to the arena and won. Like that is. I hope they do the same thing again, man. I more respect to them for making it this street fight. I'm all in. I'm cool with it. I'm excited. Dan Lambert is a godsend. Like I absolutely love him. Like so he comes out, people just start booing him and start singing stuff, and it's just like he's like, "Come on, please stop, man."
Yeah, no, that's. No, what's really funny is the last time he was on TV. I was, watching it, and when he came out, the camera catches him smiling real quick, and not like, "Oh, I'm the bad guy, haha." You start smiling like, "Yo, I like this," and then kind of cuts away real quick back to the ring, and it's just like, again, going back to the things that I'm reading and seeing online, they love him, he loves them, like that. That's like whoever came up with the idea to do this, I guess you'd say crossover. I mean, good job.
Well, Tony Khan said it in the interview. What happened? They were in Miami, and I guess somebody's agent was like, "Hey, you need to talk to Dan Lambert. He loves wrestling." And Sammy's like, I said you. Tony's like, "Yeah, I've heard it. I talked to him before here and there, but I never really had a real conversation with him." And we talked. He said, "I love wrestling, and I want to come out, and I love to just enjoy the show." And then they put two and two together. And Tony Khan was like, "Let's see how this works," and it just took off. But he said Dan Lambert loves wrestling, and he is a nut for AEW. And, they won't ever show that shit on TV, but they said he is the biggest AEW fan in the world. He loves everything Tony Khan is doing. He has the utmost respect for him, and he hopes this promotion continues to succeed. I love that, man. I respect it. I mean, you have your MMA fighters who are like, he says, fighting for real. They're really fighting. They're really fighting, and then you bring them into this environment to where they're still going to take some bumps and bruises, and they still need to be physically fit and physically ready to take those bruises. And you put them in this atmosphere, and you're literally selling both products. Like I am shocked that the Hager is not getting more push right now. Like this is the perfect time for him. If he was MMA,
I will admit too that I'm kind of surprised that they're not, but I want to say that's more so because, they're just trying to protect his persona outside of AEW and, and more inside MMA, because obviously the fan base for MMA is, while I'm pretty sure there are some that like wrestling and like both, that fan base, again, like you said, that's real fighting. So, they don't want to, I guess they're trying to protect him outside. So that way, when he goes back and does matches there or something, that's like the only thing I can think of. But I mean, it's fine because like, if you think about it, on Dynamite, who was the first person that ran to the ring?
Yeah.
So I think I think they've been like subtly kind of, like here, go up front where yes, this is an Inner Circle versus them, but dude, this is your field. We're gonna kind of push you up front. You're the one, you're quote unquote, you're the muscle. You're the one that, like, when they talk about who could really win in a fight, it's like, well, yeah, Hager. You know, hey, this guy right here, you know, like nothing against the rest of the inner circle, but this guy does this outside of you know, AEW.
And Jericho said that. Jericho said he was really mad at the other promotion because the fact that you had a guy of this stature who's this big, has a beautiful face, and wrestles in MMA and is trained in all these other different martial arts, and you're not using him. And then he said, Tony Khan, I want this guy. Tony Khan's like, what? He said, give me a chance. I want him on my team, and I'm gonna make it work. And Jericho just like, write this check. I'm gonna write this check. I'm gonna write this check. All this works. Inner Circle, one of the best factions ever. Probably top 5, probably number 5 overall. But I mean, they're up there, and I mean, Jericho done a phenomenal job. He has a real faction now, a real stable, and he's gonna teach these guys to just continue to be great.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think I got one more promo, and I wanna. So before I talk about this promo, I saw something online that you probably gonna like. So, and this goes into this promo. Somebody said, I cannot wait for the day that Wardlow eats MJF out of the stadium. That day is gonna be glorious.
You've been seeing how they're sprinkling that
a little bit
like you know, the whole like, hey, what was that? Why did you leave me in the ring? And then when Darby returned, you see Spears and MJF laughing, but they show Wardlow looking there, standing like, really, guys, really? And it's kind of like they're sprinkling it. They are.
Did you see Wardlow's back? Have you seen his back today?
Yeah, I saw that. Jesus.
They going for the team, man.
Yeah, no. It honestly, Wardlow's face turn is coming, and I kind of think it's gonna be at full gear, where MJF, and probably whether he wins or loses, he's really gonna try to mess up Darby, and they might pull that whole thing where Wardlow's like, you know, no, it's like it's done, and you know, MJF hits him, and it's like, and there you go, because we thought it was going to happen when they were still at home in Jacksonville. We thought, because we saw they were getting there, they were really starting to sprinkle it, and then they kind of went away from that. Then I think that's around the time Pinnacle happened with the whole like joining Inner Circle thing. And so now they're starting to come back to it, and yeah, I do think. I think it's time. I think it's been more than long enough.
Right.
Go ahead and let them separate. There was one thing I saw online where people were like, maybe they were waiting because they've been waiting for someone else to be able to come in and be MJF's new muscle. You know, and then, you know, you see people throwing out all different types of names as to who it could be. One of the names.
I'm sorry, I know when it happens.
When?
It happens at the UBS Arena in Long Island. Wardlow and it may happen before then, but either Wardlow is going to fight MJF or something's going to happen between MJF and Wardlow, because you know Long Island is MJF's hometown. So they're going to have something special planned for that one for MJF. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, he's probably going to commentary, he's probably going to wrestle, he's probably going to promo.
He's going to be everywhere. He's going to be the cameraman, you name it.
And he probably gets a brand new contract that night. If Tony Khan needs to be smart about this, because this dude's going, I mean, he's going to jet, man. Like, he don't want to be here. Like, he's great, but he don't want to be here, man. And Tony Khan got to show him the money, man. Because I do feel bad, because I'm like, he is probably the best heel that they have. And I do feel they're not utilizing him to his fullest extent. Like, there's no reason why the Punk thing hasn't happened yet. There is no excuse. I know they're probably saving it, but I want Punk and MJF bad. Give me a whole year of this shit. I don't care. Pour it in my cup. I want it for all. I want it. I want it. I want it. I don't need MJF, and Darby. I don't need MJF and Brian Pillman. I need MJF against, like, I hate to say, like a Kenny or a Hangman or back to Cody or like MJF is I hate to say it, he's mid. He's mid, but he's made for greatness. And I'm like, the Jericho thing is done, and like they're not doing anything with him. Like, I think Punk was the best thing. Punk could have a real storyline instead of just beating up on young cats every week.
Well, like the one thing that I want from MJF, to be perfectly honest, is for him to have more matches, because this whole like I'm undefeated, dude. When you first started saying you were undefeated, you had like 3 matches throughout a whole year. That's not a big accomplishment.
He don't never wrestle. Then when he wrestles, he gets the big matches, he hurts himself. Like he gets in the match and then he's out of commission for half of the match. He can't wrestle, he can't do anything. And I'm just like, bro, you know why? Because you're not conditioning yourself in the ring by wrestling, man. You gotta wrestle. Punk's doing that. Punk's like, look, I'm gonna wrestle every freaking week and I'm gonna get myself back in shape and I'm going after that belt after that.
Oh, well, I mean, he would have to like be wrestling just about every week, because commentary said it best. Like, this was only his, him and Bobby Fish was his 5th match in 7 years.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you can go back to his match with Darby and then his match with Bobby Fish. He has already changed, because remember the Darby match, even though, because I remember we were all watching it together.
Yeah.
It was a great match, but you could tell the ring rush was there. You could tell he was a little winded. He, trying to get back into the swing of things. But then you see him going against Bobby Fish, and this was like, okay, now you're starting to get back to that level of before you left. Because like Bobby Fish, dude, I honestly thought that they were gonna have Bobby Fish win at one point, and it was gonna be like a type moment.
I mean, I know he's taking some L's. Like,
they're working. They're using him right.
They got themselves a winner, boy. I want to see Bobby Fish and Daniel Garcia. Like, that would be such a great match. I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna say that right there. As people say, that's money.
Dude, I would love that. Man, that's the match that I want to see. Like, I would pay good money. I would pay-per-view that bad boy, man. Make a main event.
Speaking of Daniel Garcia, that's who I want to see go against MJF.
Yeah, I mean
that to me, that right there, because like right now Garcia, he's basically like a heel, and that's fine. Him and 2.0, they're great at it. They are great. Dude, every time 2.0 shows up on any of the vlogs, and the way that they act is just hilarious.
Hey, you want some of this? You want some of this? Yeah, that's right. Come on, keep walking. Get one of this. Get one of this. It's cracking me up, dude.
But like they, but like overall though, they're great, and I feel like if that ever happens, Garcia versus MJF, Garcia is just gonna be the biggest face at that point. Like it's gonna be like mega face versus mega heel, and yeah.
And go ahead and set up Mr. Garcia and Lee Moriarty too. Go ahead and set those two up.
Oh,
yeah, dude, go ahead. Yeah, I go ahead and set that up, because I'm cool with that as the main event match at any pay-per-view. I would buy that immediately. I would go ahead and pre-order it. Yeah, that's another match.
Lee is this, he's basically that talent that nobody would think is like main event level. And then you see what he does and it's like, oh crap, wait a minute. And he just, like his match, he had a match with Bobby Fish, right?
Yeah, it was the buy-in last week before last.
Okay, yeah, see, and it's just one of those things where it's like, man, because a lot of times you would think, oh, so it was a squash match. And it's like, no, it actually wasn't a squash match. He put up a good fight, kind of like what I wanted, 10 to do against Moxley. Oh, look, we're back to that.
Well, it's funny because when I saw Lee first, it was on Dark. And I was like, this is a squash match. And then I'm like, damn, this cat can wrestle. So I sent a message. I said, Tony Khan, wherever this Lee dude is, please give him a contract. And I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm not trying to say I'm superstitious or I got some special power. I got luck. And within 24 hours, Lee was signed. Like, I was like, yo, this cat can wrestle.
Dude, you just okay. Pull back the veil. We all know you and Tony Khan are buddies. Like he watches this. That's why we decided to do one again because we haven't done one in a while.
Let me go this way. You know how we go. Like we say stuff, it comes
and
to
it
fruition,
happens.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, but MJF. I mean, if you guys hear what he says and you start picking it apart, you can tell where his destination wants to be at. I'm hoping that AEW does the right thing and gives him what he wants and allows him to grow at a higher level. And I know we gotta move the people here and get the wrestlers up, but I really want to see him at main event level with other big names in the company. Like I think he's earned it since ever since the Cody situation. Like at that point, he signified who he was going forward, and he has been the best, like the best at what he does. And his craft, his kayfabeness, everything. Like you, Tony Khan, you got to open the book up, man. You got to open the book up, make him happy because I just can't imagine how mad people would be if MJF left AEW. Like that would just be catastrophic.
And I definitely agree with what you're saying, and I just right now I think that it's one of those things that's like, hey man, we got so many stories going. You got I like don't get me wrong. That promo he cut about talking about like the 4 pillars of AEW. Yeah. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
You know, Jungle Boy, Darby, him, and Orange. Yeah, he's not wrong. Those are the 4 pillars. It's none of the old guys.
Oh no, it was Sammy.
Oh, sorry, Sammy. Yeah, Sammy, Darby, Jungle Boy, and him. Yeah, those four are the pillars of AEW. Let's just be 100% realistic, regardless of what people think, because they are that young group that is going to carry things on.
And I'm shocked, and I'm gonna say this: if you notice, they don't pit them against each other.
Yeah,
they keep them separated and give them older level matches against older level dudes, but you know. If you put Sammy and Jungle Boy in the ring, yo, you can't. Oh, you know what they should just do? Let's do a 4-way. Let's do a 4-way match, and just put on MJF, Sammy, Darby, and Jungle Boy. It will set the roof off. You set yourself up for the next 5 years. Good to go. All of the wrestlers who are 35 and older can retire.
I mean. If Sammy has the belt long enough, that could easily be a 4-way match for that belt.
And honestly, I think that I hate to say this, MJF should have gold.
Yeah, no, I think. Well, see, I think right now, because like Kenny obviously he's a heel, but he's like that heel that you don't really take seriously. Let's be honest. I mean, they came out dressed as Ghostbusters for crying out loud.
Soft as heel.
But then you have Britt that is like a mega heel, but yet and she actually is like a pretty bad heel. Not bad like she sucks bad. Like no, she's actually a bad guy.
She's really good at it.
And I feel like the reason why MJF doesn't have gold right now or hasn't had gold is because it's like we can't have too many heel champions. Like and let's be realistic. MJF as a heel champion, as good as he is, he would outshine both of them in an instant. And I think that's why he hasn't had that gold yet.
Can you imagine his head coming out every day? Boy, he'll have to hold his head up coming down the ramp, boy.
But yeah, and I think that's what I'm thinking as to why they are holding off on that. But I definitely think he's gonna get gold. Probably not for the rest of this year. No. 2023, if he's still with AEW, guaranteeing you, he's getting a belt.
The TNT belt seemed like a great belt for those pillars. Because
Yeah.
the world championship belt, like, let's be honest, it's Moxley, is Kings. No, I'm sorry, Moxley, Kenny, Danielson, and who's the guy? And Hangman.
Yeah. Yeah, like right now they kind of have that set.
Yeah,
And
there's nobody else.
And I also like the fact of how, if you think about it, because I know you said you've had issues with this in the past, but I like it because of the fact that the heavyweight belt only really gets put on the line for like pay-per-views, but that TNT belt gets put on the line, like you said yourself, it gets put on the line more than the heavyweight belt. But I like that fact.
Yeah.
I like the fact that TNT belt, that's the belt you're fighting for constantly, because you got like those 4 pillars and a bunch of people like them, maybe not at their level, but within that range, that they all want that belt. So, dude, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Let that be the fighting belt. And then, you have the world heavyweight belt that they do for the pay-per-views. That way that way they both feel special in their own right.
Yeah.
The TNT is, you're fighting for it every single day. The championship is, you're the main card, you're the main match at the end of the night of a pay-per-view.
Yeah. But my views kind of changed now, because I'm like, the TNT belt, like the fact that Sammy won it off of Miro, legitly, like, I'm like, the TNT belt, it fucking has weight to me after that match. Before it was like, Miro wasn't really wrestling at all. It was very rare he was wrestling, I hate to say it, ever since the Brody, Cody, and Darby thing, when they would share the belt, like, it hasn't really been consistent. It's been kind of just there. Now I'm like, Sammy is embracing it. And even his intro has changed. I don't know if you've seen it. His belt part of his intro. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Yeah. Sammy Guevara.
But as we're saying this, just want to add this real quick. I hope this is the same strategy that they're going to use for the TBS belt.
Yeah.
And gonna be honest, they really got to nail who wins that tournament. They got to get the right person to win it. I like her because she is dominating. Like, she has that power to her, but Jade should not be the first one to get that belt.
But I feel that's the way it's going, man.
Yeah. No, I do too. I
Jade
feel
doesn't lose, man. And
but you and I both see it, but it's just one of those where it's like, man, really, really don't think, especially if Britt still has the belt, you can't have 2 heels get that, have those belts.
You already know who it should be. I mean, I think you and I are on the same page. I mean, because Rose is a part of the tournament.
Yeah.
Rose, and the safest move is Rosa. You're not gonna get any flack from it. She wins the crowd in dark elevation. The crowd loves her. She has the energy. It's great. I wouldn't do Ruby because it's too soon. Like, you're gonna have so many people say, "Oh, Ruby just came in. You gave her a belt. Why would you do that?" Like,
yeah.
But Thunder Rosa is your safest bet, and I don't think like I said, I want to do the Sheeta thing, but I
think right now. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say. I think right now, don't have Sheeta get the belt. Let her have this feud with Deeb and let this run, because this is working without any type of gold behind it whatsoever.
Yeah, well, she got her plaque finally, so.
Oh yeah, that was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it got her plaque. Boy.
But it's a piece of glass. But like let her do that. We say it. The internet's been saying it. The fans have been saying it. The women need tag team belts. They do. They need them. They're finally at this point now where these women have massively improved or are coming in strong with all types of energy and heat behind them. Yeah. You gotta start having them do something, like you gotta start having them have a reason to fight.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, feuds are great, but there's gotta be, right now you only have the 1 belt, then you're gonna get the TBS belt, and you can't have the belts like hop around every week. because that was like the main criticism that Charlotte and Sasha Banks had in WWE, because there was literally like 1 month where they both became champion like 10 times, because every time they fought, one would win and get the belt, and then the next match, the other would win and get the belt back, and it kept going. And the thing was, a lot of the matches were actually pretty good and decent, but the problem was they were literally playing hot potato with the belt.
So what I would do, and because I asked for the TBS tag team title belts, and they decided to go TBS belt, whatever. But they decided to give it to the women, so I was like, I'm half there. But what I would do, and I do another annual tournament, and give them medallions again. Just do an annual tournament. You get some tag teams together, get a feeling for things, what works and what doesn't work, and then if you get a nice reception, then okay, great. Let's do the belts. But I think that like doing a tournament is a safe route. I like AEW's tournaments because it gives you something to look forward to and look cool. This is the bracket. Okay, this is how it should go. Okay, well, you know what? It make it like I like their bracketology. I respect it. I love it because it gives you something to look forward to every week. It's not like random matches or why did this person did we don't have the power bookings like we had before.
No, you're right. You're right.
But for promos, that's basically it, man. Dude, man, we haven't even got the Rampage, man. That's just how crazy. Man, but dude, always shooting the shit with you is always amazing. Just talking about AEW and wrestling in general, man. And like I said,
and don't forget, November 23rd, we get to talk about something else. You refuse to watch the trailer, which keep in mind.
Oh, dude, I'm not doing it, man.
No. I get why. I know why. I know why you don't want to watch it. So don't, because it does give away a lot.
Okay,
we know why.
Let me tell you the reason I don't like watching movie trailers. Not because of Masters of the Universe, Revelations. Great series. 4 out of 5 episodes they got right. Whatever. A lot of flack online. So the new trailer came out. The reason I don't watch trailers is because of this. Disney has ruined trailers for me, and I stay away from them because I don't need you to tell me everything. Like even I'm gonna blame another company too. The people who created Sing, the movie with the animals singing and stuff. The part 2 came out, and the trailer was 4 minutes long, and they literally started the trailer from the beginning of the movie and then show you what happened at the end with the lion. And I'm like, the Bono line. And I'm like, I'm in the movie theaters. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you don't show me the whole thing. But people who love Civil War, a shame on you, because if you watch the trailers, there's no reason you were in the movie theater and you were hyped for this movie. They showed you everything from Spider-Man to Black Panther, why they were fighting, what the conclusion was, and everything else. So I will not watch Masters of the Universe Revelation trailer. I will wait for November 23rd, and I will be very excited, and I will lose my shit, and that's what's happening. And nobody's taking that away from me. Y'all! Cut that motherfucker. Yes, yeah. Yo.
Then dude, for the love of God, avoid everything then. But yeah, I know this is a wrestling show, and he went on a tirade about that. But
sorry.
That was like one of the first things we did before we started talking about wrestling was we did
go check it out.
Masters of the Universe, and I can't wait because I plan to actually watch part 1 and part 2 together. Because that's how it should have been.
What? Hold on. So it's not really a part 2. It's actually part of the whole story. So you're telling me that they didn't create a second part, that the second part was already part of the original part, and they just decided to split it up and make us wait? That's what you're telling me. Oh, okay.
So guys, be on the lookout for that one. I mean, trust me, that's like a really hot topic online. Talk about that show.
Yeah. Oh, well, really, people don't like He-Man.
No. Masters of the Universe.
No, but
not
He-Man.
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 Yeah, no.
He-Man, but it's He-Man.
Yeah, and there's
It's
a
He-Man.
specific show called
It's
He-Man.
it's He-Man. The people, it's a sequel to He-Man. So we, He-Man. So this is gonna be He-Man. Nah, but yeah, I can't wait to watch it. Once we do it, we'll do a follow-up. Watch the whole
We'll do like a retrospective. Was it actually good? Was it wrong? Well, who knows?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a cooking show that after we watch, and I will be making pies for a lot of people. You may ask me what flavor is gonna be. It's not pecan pie. It's not apple pie. It's not the people's pie. It's humble pie. I gotta send out some humble pies to a lot of people to let one episode ruin their viewing experience.